Alright, so this is the fourth tutorial. So far we have looked at creating a layout, and then we also looked at how to insert data into JSON file, and also how to load save data. And now we're going to be looking at how to read the data that is stored within the buttons that you created. Alright, so yeah, let's go and get started. Okay, so this is what we have from last time, so we can just run that. Okay, so our task manager app, so when we continue, it loads all the data that is saved in our JSON file. However, so far you can only see the title of whatever you put in here. You are unable to see like the body. So let me just remind everyone. So when you write your note, you will write, let's say, a title. Let's say, okay, let's create one. So you will have a title, let's say, for me, and then you put in your note here, note, right, or your body, or whatever you want to call it, your body, right, and then you'll create. So as you can see, it's created here, right? Yeah, however, like all the information that is stored within these buttons, you are unable to access it. Yeah, so how do we go about doing that? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Yes, so of course we have the read button here, but we haven't really defined any functions. So let's go on and do that. Okay, so we're going to have a function, and this function that we're going to create, it's going to be for reading the data. So read self. Okay, so like previous, we're gonna be collecting or taking the data from our JSON store file, right, which is storage JSON. Once again, this is a continuation, so please do make sure you check the previous tutorials. Okay, yeah, I think so far so good. Let's just run this quickly. Okay, let's close this. Okay, all right. So the button that we're looking at here, it is it's a toggle button, so which means it has two states. It has your down state or your normal. So what we want to do is we want to say if self IDS. So in this case, what we're gonna be referencing, let's just move this here. It's this button here, so we're going to be using this button, right? So which means IDS, as you can see here, it's read, right? So we want to use the read button, read, right? State. So if the state is down, we want to do something. So if the state is done, what we want to do is number one, we want to make sure that the text input is read only, because if you are reading, then you want to only read, you don't want to edit as well. So let's go on and change that. So self IDS title input read only true. So we'll make that true. Let's just go and copy this. Self IDS title input, and then now we want to say the body read only true. Okay, yeah, so which means when, just to explain, this means when we press our button, when the state is down, this will become read only. Okay, but we don't want to just make this read only, but we also want to display the data. Yes, but of course we also want to make sure that the data that's displayed is only the data we want. Okay, so let's go on and say if, right, self IDS title input in self. So just to explain what's happening here, so what we're gonna do is, so in order to read the data, we're gonna base it off the what do you call it, the title. So if the title exists, then we will be able to view the data. Let me just demonstrate this. So maybe for now we can say print correct. Okay, and of course we need to have an on press here. Where is it? Here. So on press root read. Let's go on and save that. I hope I don't have any errors. Okay, no errors, this is good. Okay, so whenever you wanna, let's go on and so that we can see our printouts. Okay, yeah, all right. So so in order for us to read the data here, right, so let's suppose where we have the title, we put a title, like let's say coder, right? Alright, so that of course creates, as you can see, it creates a new button for us. However, now when we want to read, we want all of this to disappear. So we're going to press there, right? Okay, I see that it didn't disappear. Not everything disappeared. Yes, it's because we haven't put yet the functions there. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that when we press read, everything clears here. So as you can see, not everything cleared, but we want to clear everything, so that we can just be able to read whatever is in the buttons. So yeah, so let's go on and just clear everything quickly. I believe everyone should be able to, it's quite simple to do this. What we can do is we can just say self IDS box, because that's where all our widgets are. Box clear, and what do we want to clear? We want to clear all the widgets. Okay, and once we have cleared all the widgets, what we want to do is we want to reload them. So we're going to say self load. Of course, if you remember, we already have the load function here, so we're just merely calling it. Okay, let's go on and put this. at the side. So this will help us see when the function is called. Okay, let's go on and run this so that we can see the difference. Okay, suppose we had added a new button, right? We had added a new button. Let's call this button game on, and then it had some few information, right? So we have this information. So now when you press read, oh, okay, it's still not everything is still leaving. I see that it's still not clear. Okay. Okay, let's just try and fix this. Okay, so something that I think we can do here to clear everything. So what we want to clear is the title input and the body input, right? Let's just clear it directly. So what we can do is we can just say self IDS title input, and let's make the text like this. So it must just be blank, nothing there. Yeah, and then let's do a title hint instead. Title input hint text. What can we say as a hint text? Maybe we can say press on the button to read contents. Okay, so let's do the same with the body as well. Self IDS title body text, and let's make it blank as well. Okay, let's go on and run this. It should be okay now. Okay, let's see. Okay, it better work this time. So suppose we create a button, right? We created. Okay, the button is created as you can see here. But now what we want to do is we want to read. So, okay, we're getting an error. What's the error here? Let's see. Oh yes, sorry. Typo, it's a typo. Let's just go and fix the typo. So it's not supposed to be title, it's title input, it's supposed to be body input. Yeah, body input. Okay, let's go on and run that. Okay, creating our button. We create our button, create, and then read. Perfect. As you can see, when we press read now, it clears everything, which is what we want. We want it to clear everything. Alright. So let's just do this. So let's say you have something written here, right? You have let's say information written, but when you go to read, you just wanna clear everything. Let's just do this. You just want to clear everything when you press read. okay, which is good. I think it's working out well so far. Okay, so something else that we want to do is so this is only if the state is down. This is only if the state is down. So if the state is down, right, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the text inputs are only read only. And also we have another if statement here, and in this if statement what we are doing is we are checking the text that is already in our text input, and we are checking whether it's in our JSON file or not. And if it is there, what we're going to do is we're going to clear everything. We're going to clear all the widgets in our IDS box. We're going to reload all the buttons again. Then we're going to make sure that the text inputs are clear and that they have a hint text which says press on the button to read the contents. Yeah. Yes, however, let's suppose the text that is there is not in our JSON file. What we're going to do is we're going to have a else self IDS body text. Alright. So just to oh man, what am I doing here? Sorry. So self.ids, not this one, but the title input. Int text. Yeah, then we can just copy this. I'll explain just now what's happening here. Okay, so just to explain what's happening here. So let's say when we press the read button, right, there's a text written in our text input. What we want to do is we want to clear the text input, right, and then we want to put the hint text, which is as follows. And then we also want to do what? We also want to clear the body input. Okay, however, if it's already empty, if the title input is already empty, then we don't have to basically clear it. That's what we're all saying here. We don't have to clear it because it's already empty. Okay, and let's also go on and add the last else pass. Yeah. Okay, I think we're pretty much done here. So let's go on and check it one more time. Okay, let's check it. Okay. Alright, so we have our buttons here, right? Okay. And when we press read, as you can see, it puts a hint text which tells us press on the button to read contents, which is good so far. Okay, and what if there was something written there? Right, let's see. What if there was something written there? When you press read, it clears everything for you. This is very good. This is very good so far. But maybe something that we didn't check is what if there's something only written in the body? Let's see. Right, let's see. Read. As you can see, it clears everything. That's good. Okay, so now let's get on to what we actually want to do. So how do we access all this information which is stored in the JSON file in these buttons? How do we do that? To do this, actually, it's quite simple. So we already have a custom button, right? We have a custom button. So what we want to do is we want to create a function which allows us to check the information in the custom button. That's what we want to do. So we can go on and create a function which is check. All right. Yeah. And we have to create our custom button class here. So custom button like this, and remember this is a button, right? So on press we can root check like this. So we are calling this function here. So let's go on and test this out. Testing. Okay, let's save the site first. Okay, let's go on and run that just to see if it's working out. Okay, let's go on and see. Okay, so now as you can see, whenever we press our custom buttons, the function which let me just move this a bit. So okay, let's just move this slightly. Yeah, so as you can see, whenever we press our custom button, we call this function here. It doesn't matter which button we press because these are all custom buttons. Alright, so which means as long as we press these custom buttons, we are able to access this function here. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this function here is linked to the information in the respective button. So let's go on and do this. It's going to be quite simple to do. Yeah, so let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here, right? So each button has its own text, right? And that text we can just simply call it self.text. All right. So for instance, let me show you something. Let's say print self.text. So what you will notice about self.text, it will return the text on the button. Okay, let's just move this aside. Yeah, so you can see. Okay, so let's press YouTube button. As you can see, we are able to get the text in the YouTube button. What about coda? As you can see, coda, SS. Alright, so as you can see, we are able to access the data from whichever custom button we press by using self.text. So far so good. This is very good. We're in the right direction. Now what we want to do is, let's just remove this. So what we want to do is we want to create a temporary string which is self. We can just say self temp string, right? And then it's equal to self.text. The reason this is very important is because in the future we will also want to create an editing button, so we need this. And then we want to access data now from our JSON file. So self store JSON store. Then the name of our forgot, it's a JSON file. Okay, so far so good. So what we want to do now, we want to from the JSON store we want to take the text which is within the JSON store, alright, and we want to call it the updated body text. So just to explain what we're doing here, so what we're doing is we're using the self text right, which is technically the title, or if you wanna say, you can just say it's the key of the JSON file. Maybe to make a sense of this, let's just open the JSON file. I think it will be better to visualize. Okay, so when you look at the self.txt, right, it's actually the key. So what we are ultimately doing here is we want to use this self.txt to get the rest of the value. Alright, and what we want to do with that value is we want to add it. We want to take that value and give it this name here, which is we can just say updated body text, or whatever you want to call it. It's up to you what you want to call it, but for me, I'm just going to call it updated body text. Yeah, and what is it? It's self.store .get self text. So now just to explain what's happening, so what we're using is we are getting this value which belongs to this key here, right? And then we are giving it this name here, which is update body text. All right. Yeah, and pretty much with this we are pretty much done. It's just now a matter of displaying the data, so let's go ahead and do that. I hope everyone is following well. If there's anything that is not clear, please do let me know, and I will try to clarify it as much as I can. Yes. Okay, so basically we have everything now. we pretty much have everything. Yeah, so just to show you that we have everything, so let's say print, right? And let's also say print self.text. I hope there's no typos. No typo. Okay, looks like we have no typo. So basically, so when we press YouTube now, what you will see is that we have YouTube, and then we have the value as well, which is good. So which means we are able now to get the key, right, and the value. There we go, which is good. But now what we want to do is we want to display that information here. So we want to display that information here. How do we go about doing that? I'll show you just now. Now for this one, you need to I hope you can be able to follow very well. So with this, I know that you might be very tempted to just simply say self .ids, right? Because what we want to do is we want to update our text inputs. So you might be tempted to now say title, input dot text is equal to let's say self.text. Yes. However, this will not work. The reason for this is because we are dealing with custom widgets, and when it comes to custom widgets, before you reference them, you have to indicate where exactly they are. And how do you do this? I'm going to show you now. So our custom widget that we have now, where is it? It's located here. This is where it's located, because whenever we add our custom widget, where is it added? It's always added in our box layout here, right? So what we want to do is, so let's just clear this. What we want to do is we want to say parent, right? Self.parent. Self here refers to the custom button, right? And the parent here refers to where the custom button is. In this case, it's in this box layout, right? Yes. And then this box layout is in the scroll view, right? So which means this box layout has another parent. So we're gonna say parent, right? Yes. And then what you also notice is that even this box layout is also has a parent. So just to go back again, so we have our custom button, which is added here, right? And the parent of this custom button is the box layout, and the parent of the box layout, it is the scroll view. Then the scroll view of the parent of the scroll view, it's the box layout, and then the parent of the box layout, it's this box layout here. And then the parent of this box layout, it is the screen. And that is what we want to reference. So we want to reference the screen so that we can be able to get to access all the IDs within the screen. So that's about 5 parents basically. Parent, what am I doing? Parent, that should be about 5. Oh, I think I overdid it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to have a separate tutorial on this, please do let me know, and then I'll work on it. So now we can finally say IDS, and then we can reference our text inputs. Yeah, so text input, in this case what we want to do is we want to title input self text. Okay, let's go and copy that, and then we also want to update also our body input. So we're going to say body input. Now with our body input, as you saw last time when we printed it, even this value came out. So it was value and then the information. But what we want to do is we don't want this part of the information, but we just want the second part of the information. So how do we go about doing that? It's actually quite simple. So what we will do is we will say, that's where we will use now our updated body text, right? So we're going to say updated body text, right? And then what we're gonna use value 1. Let's just make this bigger. Yeah. So just to explain what's happening here, so here with our updated body text, we don't want to display. Let me just go here. We don't want to display the value part, but want to display this part. So by putting this is sort of acting like a key, then we are able to get the value. We are able to get the value basically. Alright, so yeah, so that's what we're basically doing here. Alright, so let's go on and test this out. I think we've been doing a lot of yeah, let's go on and take a look how everything looks like now. Okay, alright, so when we press read, it should have this hint text. Press on the button to read its content. So let's go on and press the button. YouTube. Oh, it's giving us an error. Oh, there's a typo. Let's just fix that. So it's update body text, and I changed it to updated body text. Okay. Oh, wait, there's another typo. Should be txt. And let's remove these prints here as well. Let's go on and run that. Okay, let's do it. Oh, one more thing, almost forgot. Before we are actually able to edit this, so one thing we also need to do is, which I almost forgot, So here, right, it's supposed to be text. So because we're updating the text, and then we also want to have the hint text here. Hint text. For the hint text, let's just say enter title here. And then let's just say enter, or maybe you can just say type note here. Okay, yeah, so please don't make the mistake I made. Whenever you're referencing the IDS, you must be very specific. So in this case, the text. Yeah, let's go in and run this. I think it's okay now. Yeah, should be okay. Okay, so we can say read, right? As you can see, so when we press the button now, we are able to access the information. Alright, so let's press this button and see. As you can see, we are able to access the information. Let's press this one. We are able to access the information. Alright, and then when you press read, of course, now you can, let's say, create if you wanted to, and so forth. When you go back to read, it will clear everything for you. Then you can be able to access whatever of the buttons you want. Yes, and that is how you can go about reading the information that is stored in the buttons. I know this tutorial was very lengthy. Yes, the next one I'll definitely try to make it much shorter. But if there was something that was not very clear, please do let me know in the comment section. Until next time, take care and take care.